Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast of the Corn Belt. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We'll check out the satellite and lightning combo here on Friday morning, and you can see the cold air filtering in across the Corn Belt, cool and dry air making its way in here early on this Friday morning. 40s and 50s to be felt from the Dakotas all the way down to the Ohio River Valley. This front has made it this far south as we wake up here on this Friday morning. Again, a refreshing start to the weekend across the Corn Belt. Pretty quiet as we talk about precipitation. We've got some showers here kind of riding the jet stream winds out of the prairie into North Dakota this morning. A couple showers across far southern Missouri, far southeastern Kansas, and then some more widespread shower and storm activity from East Texas into the Ozarks this morning. Pretty quiet as we look at the hazards map across the Corn Belt as well. We've got excessive heat warnings across the west. We're going to be talking about some record-breaking heat there as we head into the weekend as that ridge continues to build out west. Over the last 72 hours, pretty quiet as far as precipitation goes across the immediate Corn Belt. We've seen a lot of heavy rain that was well advertised from East Texas into the Ozarks, and then we did have an opportunity for some showers to make their way through parts of eastern Missouri into central Illinois. We had hoped to get that further into parts of southern Illinois and then across Indiana and Ohio, but really pretty disappointing across this area as we talk about those rain showers that made their way through during the day Tuesday and Wednesday. Now we're comparing the last 30 days of precipitation percent of normal on the left, the next 7 days of forecast rainfall over here on the right. We're going to be watching a frontal boundary. You've been talking about it a lot. I know everyone knows about the cold front that's coming in here early next week. It's going to kind of stall out in this general region. We're going to see several days of thunderstorm activity, or at least shower activity, from parts of Texas through Oklahoma, eastern Kansas, into the state of Iowa, northern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin. In this area, the thunderstorm activity actually begins here over the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll see a cluster of thunderstorms produce some heavy rainfall, hopefully without doing much in the way of damaging wind or large hail, and just giving a nice drink to parts of Iowa, northern Illinois, southern Minnesota, and parts of southwestern Wisconsin here Saturday into the day on Sunday. We'll talk about the rainfall chances here in a moment. Just wanted to kind of compare those two, I guess, to kind of show the very dry area that we're watching here from Nebraska into the eastern Corn Belt, and noticing that it does look like we'll get to mitigate some of that, but this is going to leave some areas here dry, and that would be, probably eastern areas here, or western areas of the dry area. And then I have my concerns now as we get into parts of Indiana, Ohio, and then the southern half of Illinois. We'll talk about that here in a moment as well as we compare some of the different models. Severe weather, not a huge concern over the next 3 days. We do have that slight risk. I talked about the chance for some widespread storms across parts of Minnesota and Iowa, tracking into southwest Wisconsin and maybe northern Illinois Saturday into the day on Sunday. So here would be the outlook today, Friday. We've got a slight risk on Saturday, tomorrow across Minnesota and Iowa. And then on Sunday, we keep a frontal boundary stalled across the upper Midwest here, keeping a marginal risk across parts of eastern Iowa into lower Michigan. Now we'll look at the jet stream and try and diagnose what's going on here. As we get started today, we've got a ridge building out west. We've got a trough here across the Great Lakes, both of which pretty broad here. And as we trend here toward a more amplified pattern as we get into the back half of the weekend into early next week. We'll take the drawings off. Here comes the trough. It cuts off here. We've got good agreement with this now. The GFS has caved to the European model with the cutoff here. We were talking just a couple of days ago about the huge disagreements here between the Euro and the GFS. Just a couple of days ago, the European model caught on to this idea of breaking this upper level low off from the stronger jet stream current here from the prairie into the Great Lakes, where the GFS was a little more stubborn, keeping that wave attached to the main jet stream here and a little bit more progressive as it swings through the area. But now we've got the GFS breaking the upper level low off, both of which got to kind of take their time here getting their idea on how long this cutoff low is going to sit here and meander before being picked back up and then sweeping across the region. They're about 24 to 48 hours off on that right now. That's not that unusual to have a cutoff low. It's separated from the jet stream flow, the steering flow, so not unusual to have the model struggle with the handling of that as it kind of meanders around. So we'll take this back. I'm going to play it through time now, heading through the day Friday. Getting into Saturday, we're going to see a frontal boundary stalled across this region, and now you're seeing the upper level low, or the upper level flow, coming across that little short wave embedded within there Saturday into Sunday. That's going to keep that chance of thunderstorms in the upper Midwest, parts of Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois. And then as we head into the weekend early next week, here's Monday, getting into Monday night. And now Tuesday, our cold front is dropping across the plains. Getting into Wednesday now, and now our upper level low is going to kind of park itself as the upper level jet stream begins to retreat back to the north. and now the European has this kind of swing out of here as we get into the weekend. So it is possible that that upper level low just kind of sits across the west as we head through the back half of the week into the weekend. Now we'll check out the temperature forecast here as we head through the weekend so we can watch that cold front swing in. First, pick out the warm front, draped right across this region, separating the very warm and humid air from the cool, drier air across the Great Lakes. That's going to be the focal point for our weekend thunderstorm activity. A little perturbation in the upper level flow, a little jet stream ripple over the top of that well-defined, what we call a baroclinic boundary, a temperature boundary here. Again, that boundary between the warm and humid air and the cool, dry air. It wants to lift there, and that upper level support will aid in that. So we'll look for showers and storms to develop along this frontal boundary, especially Saturday night into the day on Sunday. We'll take this a bit further. Now the cold front's going to start dropping in as we get into the day on Monday. It'll move through the Dakotas during the day on Monday, pushing into Nebraska overnight, into Kansas by the time we get to Tuesday morning. And then look at this, as we get to Tuesday, this would be noon. This almost straight, nearly 2,000 mile long frontal boundary extending from the Texas panhandle parts of New Mexico through the Corn Belt, through the Great Lakes, all the way into the Northeast. Just a really impressive early autumn cold front here making its way through the area. Now it doesn't plunge all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Instead, with the upper level low breaking off and cutting off across the western U.S., this front's going to stall here. This is Wednesday, kind of stalling across this region. We're going to take Gulf moisture then, bringing it up and over the top of that boundary, and that's why we'll set up that corridor of heavy rainfall potential from Texas into parts of Iowa into Wisconsin. Now, where exactly that frontal boundary sets itself up is going to have a huge play in where the rainfall falls. So we'll take this into the weekend here, quiet across the Corn Belt as we get started. This would be, I'll take us through the day Friday, getting into Friday night now. This is Saturday morning, a quiet Saturday for just about everyone in the Corn Belt. It's Saturday night that will start to ignite some thunderstorms here just after sunset, probably around the South Dakota-Minnesota border, getting down into southern Minnesota, and then we'll watch this thunderstorm complex move rather slowly off to the east-southeast across southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, and then potentially into southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois as we get into Sunday morning. Midday Sunday into Sunday evening, we could see a few additional thunderstorms popping up across this area, but that would be just about it across the Corn Belt. It's as we get into Monday that we start to see our frontal boundary now plunging out of Canada, and this is going to bring that next chance for rainfall to the Corn Belt in a more widespread fashion. So Monday afternoon, a couple thunderstorms possible across the northern half of Illinois into northern Indiana. We'll then watch for generally, I'm not too concerned about, severe weather or a robust thunderstorm threat along this frontal boundary. The exception may be across parts of Iowa and northern Illinois at times. But let's take this through Monday now, the front sweeping through the Dakotas into northern Nebraska, into the rest of the state of Nebraska by the time we get to Tuesday morning. This is about mid-morning on Tuesday now, rain stretching from parts of Colorado through Nebraska, Iowa, into the Great Lakes. Now taking it into Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, now Wednesday night. This is when that frontal boundary kind of stalls in this region, and again, we're taking Gulf moisture, bringing it up and over the top of that frontal boundary, just keeping a wide area of kind of light showers, light rain activity along that boundary from the Texas Panhandle through Oklahoma, Kansas, into the Great Lakes here. This is mid-morning Wednesday, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Now the upper level support beginning to depart off to the north, so rain going to begin to taper off as the boundary starts to wash out and high pressure moves in late in the week. So now late Thursday, getting into Thursday night, we're quieting down. High pressure has moved into the Corn Belt with the upper level low cutting itself off across the west. We could continue to see shower activity across parts of the high plains as we get into the weekend, but it looks like rain activity quiets down then as we get to the back half of the week across the Great Lakes and the eastern Corn Belt, while we kind of keep light rain activity possible across parts of the high plains. So here's the low-level winds, the response here. I just want to show you what I'm talking about with the moisture coming up and over the top of that boundary. Now as we get started, the first wave comes through here Saturday into Sunday. Here's the strong flow coming out of the southwest, supporting that thunderstorm cluster across Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and northern Illinois late Saturday into the day on Sunday. As we get deeper into the weekend, the cold front comes plunging down. You see the strong flow coming out of the Canadian Prairie here during the day on Monday. The strong convergence along that frontal boundary now as we get into Monday night and Tuesday morning. And this is where we've got this front kind of just stalling out, and you can see the flow coming out of the Gulf of Mexico, riding up and over the top of that frontal boundary. We have, again, the strong convergence, winds coming out of the north here. So, again, you get the winds colliding, you get the upper level moisture, the upper level rising motion here. That's your cloud cover and the precipitation. Again, the reason why it kind of stalls out in this region Monday, Tuesday, into the day on Wednesday. So rainfall, I'm just showing you the raw output from the European operational model on the left, the GFS over here on the right. Again, beginning to converge on this corridor here for the heaviest rainfall. The bullseye, I would say, is going to be where we get the chance for some rain Saturday night into Sunday, and then the additional rainfall as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I think that it's kind of hard to draw a circle around that specific area, but I think that's going to be parts of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and northern Illinois. I'm getting concerned about central and southern Illinois, and then heading on into central Indiana, parts of Ohio, the eastern Corn Belt here, starting to get this line here where the GFS has been catching on to this dry corridor that the European model has been advertising for several days now. So starting to see precipitation decreasing with each run here on the GFS across parts of the Ohio River Valley. So along and south of Interstate 70, from south central Illinois into central Indiana, and then getting into parts of Ohio, I've got concerns about how much rainfall we're actually going to see here. Fingers crossed, though, that we can do a good mitigation here across parts of Iowa and northern Illinois at the very least. We'll continue to watch this, though. We'll have a chance to talk again on Monday morning. Eric will be back with you, and then I'll be here on Tuesday, and we can kind of reassess this. Comparing again side by side, the European on the left, the GFS on the right, we're looking at the ensemble now, the probability of picking up an inch or more of rainfall between now and Wednesday. And again, here's that corridor that I think has the best chance. It's going to be parts of northeast Iowa, southeast Minnesota, central and southern Wisconsin, and then far northern Illinois. I think has a pretty good chance of picking up an inch of rainfall here between Saturday night and Sunday's storm activity, and then the rainfall that we do pick up here Monday and Tuesday into potentially Wednesday. Again, the cutoff here, it could be fairly sharp along the southern boundary here in through parts of eastern Missouri, central Illinois, and then northern and central portions of Indiana. That eastern Corn Belt into the Mid-South, I think it may be get left out here a little bit by some of the rainfall as we get into the next 5 to 7 days. Now, as this front starts to make its way through, parts of the high plains are going to experience some incredible temperature drops here over a 24 to 48 hour period. This is a map of 24-hour temperature change. So Monday afternoon, parts of the Dakotas here into Montana could be seeing temperatures that are 30 to 40 degrees colder than they were 24 hours ago on Sunday afternoon. And then the change will be felt here during the day on Tuesday across parts of Colorado into parts of Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and northern Missouri, where that front starts to sweep in. Parts of the high plains here of Colorado and western Kansas could see temperatures drop 50 to 60 degrees over a 24-hour temperature or a 24-hour time period. I know we've got some elevation help here with some of the dry air there, but I picked out this graphic from the National Weather Service in Denver showing their 7-day high temperature forecast, and check that out. 99 for the high on Sunday, down to a high of 43 on Tuesday, a difference of 56 degrees over a 48-hour time period. Check it out, just over one day. 90 for the high on Monday, down to 43 on Tuesday. No thank you to that. That just sounds like a really shocking 24 to 48 hour period. So talking about frost, not all that concerned at this point. We're looking at the probability of temperatures below 32 degrees freezing here Monday night into Tuesday morning, which is when the cold is going to be peaking across the region. We see some probability of that here across parts of the Canadian Prairie, but largely talking about the Corn Belt here, it's hard to get frost that far south this early. Not impossible, but just not looking that likely with this system here. We're looking at the low temperature forecast here Tuesday and Wednesday morning across the Corn Belt. And again, that we do have a white line that cuts off here with temperatures that would be sub-freezing. And you can see, again, some possibility here across the high plains, western Dakotas on Tuesday morning. And then as we get into Wednesday morning, maybe parts of western Nebraska getting into northeastern Colorado, some of the higher elevations here in western parts of South Dakota as well, flirting with sub-freezing temperatures. We'll finish with a look at highs over the next 5 days. Again, that cooler air making its way into the eastern Corn Belt and part of the upper Midwest today. We'll start warming out in the west as we head into Saturday and Sunday. Watch the temperature difference here, though, across this region as we head into Saturday and then as we get to Tuesday. Temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 degrees across northeastern Colorado into Nebraska and western Iowa on Sunday, all the way down to the 40s and 50s as we get into the day on Tuesday. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend. I'll have Eric talk to you again on Monday, and I'll be back to chat with you all on Tuesday morning.